Welcome to the Early Educator Podcast, where we talk about everything you need when it comes to growing your business, overcoming obstacles, and making an impact to not only the children in your care, but to your community and your family. My name is Blake. With me to my left, I have Cinta Hester, and to my right, I have Philip Hester. Cinta is the executive director of Our Daily Bread CACFP, and Philip is the president of Our Daily Bread CACFP. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great. Glad to be
Doing
back.
Great?
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. It's pretty well as well. Oh, sorry, you had something to say?
Ooh.
Oh, I thought you had something to say.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Really.
Sounds
it's
good.
Good to be here.
I will say one thing that has been so weird lately is if for people in Tennessee, specifically in in Knoxville, I'm sure it happened in other areas of Tennessee, but the weather is weird right now. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to talk about the weather. How's the weather? But the weather is interesting right now because literally last week it was in the 70s. Like it was amazing weather. It was like the 70s. It's real nice. But then a couple days ago it snowed 6 inches. It snowed so much, and it blew me off. It totally threw me off. I woke up on Saturday and I was thinking I'm gonna go to Home Depot, grab a few things. I need to rewire some stuff in my house, and I go in there. Oh, well, I don't go there. I wake up and I'm thinking about going there, and I go get my clothes and I look out the window. It is just coming down, and I couldn't believe it. It was 70s and it's snowing, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was it's a crazy March for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like they say, stick around, it'll change. If you don't like it, stick around.
Yeah,
It will change.
yeah.
So don't go nowhere if you live in this area. It's a great area to live.
Oh yeah, it's a great area. I love this area.
Great place about this area is we experience all 4 seasons, though.
That's true.
You know,
Absolutely.
That's true.
Most
Even
of it
if
is
they're random.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, today we have an interesting topic for you guys. I think it's one that could be needed for some, and so we definitely want to talk about this. And so basically, I'm just gonna tell you the bottom line of this topic. So it's called Mind Your Business, right? And so the focus is just the focus on what you got going on and nothing else. That's kind of like the bottom line. Focus on what you got going on, And so I just wanted to kind of ask you guys, Philip and Cinta, when it comes to that, mind your business. Whenever you do have a vision or you have a goal in mind, you're trying to go in like with your business, how do you deal with? Have you guys ever had to deal with people who don't necessarily agree with or believe in your vision? Have you guys ever had to deal with that?
We have. We have. I would call that hiring somebody who not necessarily was a good fit, And so with that in mind, things just probably didn't work out. They didn't believe in the vision, or it wasn't a good fit for them, so it didn't necessarily work out.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe in the vision, or you don't believe in we're not headed in the same direction, then things aren't necessarily going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So like in general, like if you deal with somebody who maybe, they either don't believe in your vision or sadly there's people who are trying to go through something and they just have somebody that's just may just be negative about what they're trying to do. What do you guys say is like the best way to handle that, and so in the way that you can continue to move forward in your vision and like grow your business?
You said maybe negative toward.
Yeah, maybe they're negative toward like just your overall goal and what you're trying to do, and that could apply to anything that you're trying to do. You could have somebody or some people who were like, yeah, we don't think you should go for this. It's not ideal, or whatever.
Well, we believe in a lot of training. We believe in a lot of training. We believe in, continue to train your team, continue to train them, and overcoming the negative talk, overcoming the negative self-talk. Whether that be self-talk or talk about, what we're trying to accomplish or what we're trying to do. That's something that is very important to do. And it depends on if whether or not training is going to help do that. But, we try to do everything we can to help you to become a better person, through the negative self-talk or the negative talk in general. Whether it's negative talk or gossip or that kind of talk, we try to, number one, there's no gossip, within our organization, but if negative talk toward the goal we're trying to accomplish, we try to help, train you through that. But like I said, if it's something negative, just negative talk toward what we're trying to accomplish, you may not have the same vision or mission, be mission oriented, that type of thing, and then this may not be the organization for you if you're not headed toward the same mission or vision we are.
Gotcha. What would you say about like I'm thinking more of like not necessarily people inside the organization doesn't like believe in your vision on the inside, but like on the outside from somebody or somebody from the outside. So like for example, there's maybe people that want to start a daycare or they're wanting to grow it in a certain way, but people are kind of shooting down saying, maybe you shouldn't. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, as far as someone wanting to start a daycare and other people trying to shoot down what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but they're trying to start one or grow it to a different level, or things like that. Yeah, that kind of aspect.
Well, I think they should have a positive view toward what they're trying to do and avoiding that critical, talk that's being thrown at them, and believing in themselves and believing in what they're trying to do, because they're the one who has that vision and they're the one who is looking forward into what they're trying to do. So you have to, have the problem-solving instinct, trust your instinct, trust your goal, trust what you want to accomplish, and go for it. Be resilient, be perseverant, push through that, because and be motivated, because motivation moves you through that, and helps you to persevere. So I say move toward that, move through that, and don't let any kind of negative talk or anything that people are trying to say to move you away from persevering through what you want to do and through your goals. Set goals that you want to accomplish and move forward toward those goals.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too, people might speak negatively about it or say you shouldn't do something. Not a lot of people say, "Oh, it's because they're just hating on you," because they. but I do think sometimes people do want what's best, like the what's best for you in their eyes, or they want you to take like this safer route, if that makes sense. And so one thing when it comes to just the things I've tried to do, whatever, I've had people tell me before, maybe you shouldn't do it or think about something else. But I knew that deep down they had good intentions, and so for me, I just had to be like, okay, I respect what you say, and I understand you don't want me to do this because of this, but like you said, you have to just stay consistent and persevere to your goal and what you're ultimately trying to do.
And I think also if you filter out those, sometimes you have to filter out those negative comments with positive ones, and make a list of the bad, not bad, but the negative and the positive. And I do that sometimes even with my faith. I pray about things, so it's just you make a list of things, and you have to go for it.
Yeah, but
like you said,
I'm sorry, Seth, go ahead.
And like you said, sometimes people have good intentions, but they also are fearful for you, and we like to take this safe route, and you are in this safe place, and they want to see you stay in that safe place, because sometimes people don't like to worry, and they worry for you. So
yeah,
And it's okay to be open to constructive criticism. There's nothing wrong with that. That's nothing negative. I think that only makes you better because, once again, it just goes back to what are you trying to build here? What do you want to do with this business? What do you envision for the business? Like Cindy said, you have to have that vision. But really, what do you want this to do right now? You know what you want to do a year from now, 3, 5, 10, whatnot. But be open to constructive criticism. Now, it's a difference between constructive criticism and somebody just being a hater or being downright negative towards you.
True, yeah.
But it's okay to take that constructive criticism because that can make you better. Or it may not be a good idea. It may not be the demographic that you're serving. So you have to look at that. What are the needs of the demographic and the demographics of the people that you're serving?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that that lines up.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important as well to is also a lot of times we have a tendency to want to respond in a certain way or emotionally, whatever. I think it's really important to do your best to keep your personal mentality in check as well, because a lot of times I feel like we can spend a lot of our own energy on something that someone else said, and we're trying to spend this time to try to prove someone wrong or get into this debate or anything like that. And I think which kind of comes back to the bottom line is conserve that energy and putting that energy toward just your business and your goals. I've seen people try to go for something, and then somebody gave them the constructive criticism, say, I don't know if you should do this, maybe this, or whatever, and they took it to heart. They took it really seriously, and so that they, instead of spending all that time on what they're trying to do, they spent all that time just trying to convince that person that that's what they should do. But sometimes the best way to convince somebody is through your results, is just by continuously doing what you're trying to do. And so, yeah, I think it's really important too.
Yeah, I got an example of that. We had years ago, it's probably been well over 20 years ago, that this was a lady that had started a child care facility in her home. At that time, we worked with registered child care educators. These are ones that weren't licensed, but they did meet some certain qualifications to become what we called a registered home. And the limit was 4 children plus if you had 3 related children. And she started out just keeping 4 children in her home, and she found some success in that. And even her family members, she was entertaining. Yeah, I think I would like to scale this a little bit and go to a 40 or 50 child care facility. Now have to have a business plan, a larger detailed business plan. Procure a building, those type things, and now consider hiring staff, etc. And even she had mentioned that a lot of even her family members, and of course, either other child care facilities that she was willing to partner with to say, hey, if you ever overflow of children, I would love to send them my way. Just trying to partner as a community. Well, and a lot of people were, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, they were really, and she just turned that off, and she quit consulting with them. She focused on her plan. She started, she procured a building, opened it up, and was running it as well as anybody else that we had on our program. And just after a couple of years, she outgrew the building.
Man.
And so she went from 50, I think, or 60. she had to find a larger building. Then she went to 150 child facility, and for years ran it with high integrity, high quality care, and but she just had to turn a lot of the negative talk off. She stuck to what her plan was, her mission and her vision for her business, and she created a team around her that would come alongside her to make sure that happened. And she was one of those that was not afraid to get in the classroom. She knew what role she played. She delegated very well and had leaders in other positions, even higher positions, quote unquote, in that childcare site than what she was doing. I mean, she was, she would wash bottles or change diapers with anybody, but she knew that that's what she wanted to do for her business. So she was actually able to do that just by turning the negative talk off.
Yeah.
And she basically said, look, if you're on board with me, come get on board, but we're not going to be doing this. She just turned that off.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful.
That's a perfect example. That's textbook example of how you have this big goal in mind, and you're gonna, you might have people saying it's not a good idea, but understand too, some people, like sometimes like people will try to get the best advice they can, but we're humans. We only know as much as we know. We don't know everything, and so that's just great. That's just awesome to hear, because a lot of times you'll want to expand, and I kind of like to say increase your safety net, because we all have like a safety net we can always fall back on. Sometimes you want to increase that safety net, and I think that's just great. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Story.
And also it's kind of, we said before too, like you kind of let your actions speak for themselves. It's super, super, super important. So yeah, we already kind of talked about how the people that don't really believe in your vision, and we talked about spreading negativity back too.
Well, I do want to say too, Blake, that the educators that we deal with are sole proprietorships for the most part. Now we do public entities as well, and we do have some public child care sites, but most of these are grassroots people that are starting child care, some for the first time, or they may be transitioning from another state or another, but these are people with ideas that are trying to solve this child care problem, that have a love for children. And keep in mind, this is their vision. These are entrepreneurs, and they want to do this because they have, one, a passion for children and families, and two, they want to solve this problem of quality care for children. So this is a vision that you have, and I'm not saying that you tune others out and no, I'm still sticking to my vision. No, but as far as any negative, we're not gonna, come with constructive criticism. Yes, but do not come in here, to try and destroy, because it's a vision that I have. Yeah, and I'm going to do this thing, and I want to work it with a team of people that are really on board. So that's one of the things you got to remember too, that this is something that was given to you, and not necessarily another family member or a friend. Sometimes friends can be critical, not necessarily critical, but they may not want you to rise much higher than they are, because most of us are the sum of the 5 people that we're closest to anyway, in so many different ways. So, they kind of, we all like comfort, like Santa said. We want to keep you in your little sweet spot here. We don't want you to, rise up in certain ways sometimes. Yeah.
And I'll say, speaking from experience and being a former child care provider, educator, when you're in the field, of course, it's been, quite a while, but you do have that tunnel vision when you're going for that, when you have that goal. when you have that, when you're pursuing that, and you're in this field, which is a child care industry. You have that goal of, you're taking care of children. The children that's it for us in this child care field. We have their best interest at heart. So there's nothing anybody can say that's going to stop you from accomplishing that goal. I always knew that this was what I was born for. I mean, I knew I was in the right vein of what I was born to do, whether it be, the sponsorship of an organization for child care or taking care of children in child care. When you're doing the right thing and you're on the right path. You're on the right path for your life. So the educators, I can truly relate to educators, from taking care of children to sponsoring them on the food program to whatever, whatever I'm doing related to that, claims processing. I know that this is it for me. So an educator that's on her way to opening up her own child care facility or taking care of 2 children at home, she knows, that if this is what she is going to do or meant to do, or this is her path, she's going to do it. And what no one says is going to stop her. Whether it be negative talk, positive talk, whatever, somebody wanting to assist her with that in a positive way or negative way or whatever. She's on that path, you're on that path, and you're going to do that. Nothing is going to stop you, or nobody. And I can be a witness to that because I am a former child care provider.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier about where the average of like the 5 people we hang around. I think a lot of times too, what we've experienced ourselves when we were taking things to another level, we started doing things like on a higher level, like started having a more like online presence, things like that. And we've had other people that are in the agency space too, who have tried to be negative to us directly. And we've had that happen before, and we were just like, oh man. But like, instead of, I think this could be a big point too, instead of seeing these people who are at a level that you would like to be at, or at a higher level, instead of looking at them in the sense of like jealousy, I think the best thing you can do is become their friend. Become their friend and be like, hey, you're doing this great. I would love to, know more how you're doing that, or just simply just having a conversation with them and becoming their friend, and become and change and be able to, like, in the industry, be able to change like who your average people you hang around with, so that you can learn from them and you can grow with them. And so you could learn great things that way too, instead of thinking everyone's your enemy, everyone's against you. People can be your friend too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even in this business, there is a level of competition, and there's it's like any other business. There's other people that do what we do. Do I think they do it better than we do? No, but that's my opinion.
Of course, yeah, it's yours.
But that's not to be. I'm not braggadocious or anything like that. I just have that kind of confidence in our team, and I know what the heart of our team is, and that's what they want for this agency as well. So, but however, like you said, I mean, there was some that I just wouldn't talk to. I didn't want to see them, but this thing is so much bigger than myself. It's so much bigger than the other agency or the other agencies. But once I open myself up to be vulnerable or to talk to other agencies and even ask, what do you do in this situation? I've had them come to me, hey, what do you do in this situation? I went to them, hey, I've got this. What do you, and now there's some common ground and there's a mutual respect. But they made me better. I wasn't trying to be them. They're not trying to be me. They're being themselves. And so, but somewhere, in the middle there, we can kind of forge that relationship and strengthen the program as a whole, because we're never going to be the winners in this thing. There is no winning in this. So, no winners in this thing.
Yeah.
Our daily bread, there's nothing to achieve for us to win. There's nothing for the other agency to achieve to win.
Yeah.
The winners are the children. and this program as a whole. So this thing, we're all playing for something that's so much larger than ourselves. And that's what we have to realize. Don't be afraid to network, even with the people that you may be in direct competition with. That's fine if they don't want to. Find somebody that's in another region that you're not directly, if that's better for you. Yeah. But a lot of times there's strength in networking. And I used to always try to keep everything to, in these four walls, and this is ours, this is our secret, and this is what we want. No, it's okay to share that, because guess what? Somebody else has one. It's even better than yours. And that's okay. And I'll give you an example. I heard a guy, he was talking about the difference between the new, I think it's Microsoft Zoom, and I think the little iPod was out for the Apple iPod or something, or even before they came out. I think it was before they came out. And the guy had met with one of their executives and told him that that this Microsoft Zoom told the guy at Apple that this product's so much better than yours. And he said, I have no doubt. That was the end of the conversation. He wasn't trying to justify his position and his product, because at the end of the day, sometimes your opponent or your opposition in business has a better product. That's okay. But what are you doing? Are you minding your own business? Are you focused on what you're doing? Because it's okay for them to do whatever that's what they're doing. Yeah. But I need to mind my own business and focus solely on what I'm doing. Not solely. It's okay to consult with people, but you need to really be focused and in line with what you're doing. Because you guys may be in the same business doing something totally different. Yeah. Exactly. And approaching business different, and that's okay. Exactly. But he said that, and that was the end of the story. It's not a matter of tick for tat, but wait till we come out with, no, it's okay. I have no doubt. Are there people that do some things in this business better than we do? Sure. I'd be less than honest to say that they didn't. But overall, I think that Our Daily Bread does it as good or better as anybody as a whole. But there's some things that we can learn from others to get better. And but you need to stay in your lane, stay focused on what you do, and things will work out. But you gotta stay focused on what you're doing and mind your own business in that area. Yeah, definitely. For sure. That's great. You guys have anything else on that topic at all you'd like to mention? Mind business, anything like that? Nothing. Cool. Sounds good. Cool. Well, I guess I didn't take us beforehand, but do you guys have anything you'd like to announce or anything? Anything new that's going on in Our Daily Bread or anything? Will anybody know of? There's always something exciting going on.
Constantly moving. Yeah. We can't stay still. We stay still, we're moving backwards.
Yeah, but I do want to say, and right now there's some very uncertain times, around the world that's going on, some things that's happening all over the world. Right now there are, even certain areas we're seeing food shortages, obviously very high gas prices. The cost of food is going up. Yes. So it would be, if you're not, I would say this to those that may not be on the Child Adult Care Food Program, the CACFP, to consider if you're not, because this program helps tremendously with your food cost. And I'm not saying that it's going to totally reimburse 100%, but I would be willing to bet if you qualify for this program, it's going to at least allow you to be reimbursed for 50% or more of the food that you serve to the children on a monthly basis. And this program also creates cash flow in your business. If you have this monthly reimbursement coming in, that can help you out in other areas of not just food service, but some other areas where you've already spent that money for food service. So in these uncertain times and high food costs, it would really be beneficial for as many sites that can qualify for the CACFP to participate on the CACFP.
Mm-hmm.
And to see if you and your child care business does qualify, you can call any of any of our team members will be able to help you with that. So just call our office, 865-938-6328, or toll free 855-238-6328. Our Daily Bread, we're here to serve child care educators, and we do it every single day and absolutely love doing what we do.
Boom. Sounds good. Well, y'all, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Like I said before, if you have any other topics you'd like for us to do, please let us know. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys next time.